Hello everyone, happy Friday. This is Jennifer Sinceri and it is July 25th, 2025. Happy weekend everyone. Alright, I am a little bit early, so we're going to let some people get that notice that I am live. I apologize that I was not here last week. We've had a lot going on in our family. So my son decided that he would like to join the Marines. And it was very much out of the clear blue, like we weren't expecting it. So I was a bit emotional last week. I'm doing better this week. We're very proud of him for his decision. It's just scary, you know. As a mom, I'm sure a lot of you can relate. So we are just doing a lot of praying and asking God for His will to be done and taking it one day at a time. Okay, so we are going to make two cards today. One is a fun fold, and then I also have some alternative designs for the paper pumpkin. So before we get started, if you are watching this video for the watching me, I should say, for the very first time, welcome. Please let me know that you're watching for the first time. I would love to thank you for hopping on. Make sure that you hit that like or follow button so that you get more, you get notifications whenever I go live. I apologize if I seem frazzled because I kind of am. I'm really tired. It's like I said, it's been emotional the last week or so. So go ahead and make sure that you have followed my page. Also, if you can give me a thumbs up or a heart on the video, that always helps. And if you want to share this video and sprinkle it so that other people can find me, that would be wonderful. I really appreciate when people do that. Also, you're going to want to join my business email list. So shoot me a message and let me know to add you to my distribution group. That way I can send you newsletters and promotions and sales and info about my events. I am located in Elk Grove, California, close to Sacramento. For those of you that are local to me, I do host live in-person classes. So these are my classes that are coming up. My next one is August 2nd, which is, I believe, next weekend. And then September, it's going to be the second weekend because I will be out of town. All right, so also today is the last day for Stampin' Up's promotion on free shipping of orders of $75 or more. So that is always a great savings. Whenever I can share extra value or savings with you guys, I love to do that because I want you to be able to let your money stretch. All right, so this was the July 2025 paper pumpkin kit. And it made 8 cards, and there were 4 designs. Usually there's 3 or sometimes 2 designs, so it was nice that we had 4 this time. Let me show you what I've come up with, and then we'll get started on our actual demonstration for the evening. So this one I made using our oval punch and some strawberry slush, and then this green is actually one of the card bases, and then this one was a card base that I cut and just used as designer series paper. All right, and then here's another one. Again, the plaid was one of the card bases, and I cut it to make it designer series paper. Added one of the vellum sheets on there, and then some cardstock in my stash. Here's another one using that same card base. Here's another one. There's that green again, and I actually embossed the green. All right, and then this die was from the kit also. Added my own ribbon and some rhinestones to it, and then this is adorable with the little strawberry basket. That was part of the kit. And this right here was one of the card bases that I cut down. And then here's another one. So again, this is a card base I cut down, and then I added some designer series paper from another pack to just break it up. This is from, I think, the Regal's color group, DSP. Okay. And then this one, Strawberry Slush, and then that green card base, and then this dotted card base added to it. And then here's another one. I just used strip scraps, and then I had a piece of white embossed paper that I added, and then this piece, this striped piece, is part of the kit. And then here's the last one I did, and I used that oval punch again. All right, so and I still have lots of supplies left. I think I've made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and I probably have more to make, probably, goodness, 12 cards in total. So I will take pictures of those and post them on my business page. All right, let's get started. So I was playing around with the oval punch, and this is just one card that I made. This one was a little bit hard to do because I had to kind of bend the cardstock, which creased it, and I'm not happy about that. So I was playing around with that idea, and I've come up with another idea. The piece that I punched out, I actually used down here. So we're going to do another one. This one's going to be our fun fold. This one isn't. So we'll do this one first. I'm also going to show you how to add multiple colors to your stamping. All right, so I'm going to show you this coloring technique. Okay, so we have some Mossy Meadow and our designer series paper, and then this is Petal Pink. So let's go ahead and adhere these. This paper is called, and it's an online exclusive, it's brand new, it's called Painterly Pears, and then it does have a bundle that goes with it, Perfectly Pears, and we're going to use the stamps tonight. I feel like I've got some, I do have some adhesive on the side of my finger. Let me get that off. Okay. I'm using Stampin' Seal Plus, and I love it because it's super strong. Designers, super strong adhesive. I'm gonna make sure, I still feel like I've got some. And then, let's see, we are going to add that to our card base. Some people do all these like long lines when they are adhering. We really don't need to do that. I just do the 4 corners and then a little bit on the sides. And this is super strong adhesive. It's going to hold. Now this is a scrap from cards that I was cutting, and I had some scraps. So we're going to actually turn it over and use this side. To break up that pattern a bit. Now the paper is directional, so you want to make sure that your pears are not upside down. And then we're going to use our punch. There it is, our oval punch. I love this punch. Okay, and then I'm going to use the stamps that came in my paper pumpkin kit. There's stamps in here, but I want something that's a little bit bigger. So I'm going to make this, since there are some pears, and pears are sweet. One of the stamps in my paper pumpkin kit said, "Life is sweeter with you." So I'm going to just use that on this card. Okay. Punches make card making super easy. You don't have to have the die cutting machine, the cut and emboss machine, if you don't have one. Just get a couple good basic punches that you can use for your sentiments until you're ready to buy the machine. All right, so we popped that up. I still have a piece of adhesive on my, there we go, I got it, finally got it. Now, let's stamp those pears, and I am going to show you how to do some really cool coloring, okay? So, one of the stamps is the outline, and I'm going to stamp it in black. All right. Close that up. Now you're going to grab your ink pads. Let's move this over. We're going to use some Petal Pink, some Daffodil Delight, and some Granny Apple Green. All right. I'm going to start with the green, and you'll want to use High Gale. You'll want to use daubers. These are called daubers. Okay. I'm trying to remember if it had something in front of the name, but I think they're just called daubers. So we're going to load this one. I usually keep one for each color family. So I have one for greens and one for pinks and yada yada. So now I've grabbed the stamp that is the fill-in piece, okay? So we did our outline. We're going to color this piece, the fill-in. And I'm going to add the color to my stamp because I want multiple colors on this. All right? So I'm just adding some green. This way your ink pads don't get ruined by mixing colors. Then we're going to come in with some Daffodil Delight. So I'm going to grab my sponge dauber and load it up with some yellow. And we're going to add that in. And it's okay that it touches the green because we're mixing up the colors. All right. Then we're going to add a little bit of Petal Pink. And load that up with some color, and we're just going to put it on the very edges. All right, each time you do this technique, the image is going to come out slightly different because you're adding color. And it's not going to be exactly the same. Now, I'm sorry if my head is in the camera view. So we want to just line it up. Thankfully, it's clear and we can see. And there we go. Looks like I got a little bit off. So if we want to do it again, we could. Let's try it one more time. It might have dried up on me a little bit. I'm going to do one more, and we'll see which one we like better. I actually didn't have any problems when I was practicing. Isn't that funny? We'll do one more. Whew. Actually, I might need another one for the other card. So, all right, let's try this one more time. I'm not even going to clean the stamp. Let's add on our green. Then we're going to add on the yellow. Just be careful that you don't put it in the wrong ink pad. Just make sure you get it all really good, and then add in our Petal Pink. Now I just breathed on it. Just did a puff of breath on it just because there's moisture in our breath, and hopefully that will keep it wet. All right, here we go. There we go. That looks a little bit better. Okay. I could go in, this is another thing, if you don't like it, you can always stamp right on top of it. And we're gonna cut this out, so don't worry, it's not gonna look yucky like that. But it got a little darker than I wanted, but hey, that's all right. Let me add in a little bit of yellow. We'll see if we can salvage this pear, and if it looks like it looks crummy, then we won't use it. Just another way of doing it. You could also use our chalk pastels. Ew, I think I might have ruined it because I went there. We'll see. All right, now I'm going to use Stampin' Right markers. I'm not using the blends. There's really no need to blend on this. I'm just going to color the leaves, and I think I'm going to go with Granny Apple Green. All right, and I'm going to use my brush side, and we're just going to color those leaves. There's 5 of them. If you wanted to use your stamping blends, you could for sure, if you want a little bit more definition, but I feel like the star is the sponging. And then what color is this? This is Pecan Pie. A nice brown that we have. And we just do the little branch. Now there is a die on this. I'm not going to use it. I'm just going to fussy cut. Sometimes for me it's quicker to just fussy cut than to go get the machine out. But if you need to save your hands, then by all means grab those dies and use your machine. Now when I fussy cut, I move the paper. I don't move the scissors. And it actually uses less energy. It's easier on my hand. I'm just using the back part of the scissors to do the cutting. And it does not need to be perfect. Might have to do another pair because I don't know that that other pair is going to work. There's this part right here in the middle, and I got some color there, but that's okay. 3 times a charm. 2 out of 3 will be good. We'll use 2 out of the 3. All right, there's that. Isn't that cute? Hi, Lori. How are you? Okay, so now we're going to add in our pears onto our card. Aren't those cute? Very cute, very easy. Now, notice I lifted this with dimensionals. We're not going to put dimensionals on all of this piece. We're only going to put it on the part that is hanging off of this punch piece, okay? So I'm going to use my Stampin' Seal Plus on the leaves. I don't need to get all of them. Most of them is fine. And then we'll put 2 dimensionals on the parts that are going to hang off the punch. Okay? And obviously, I probably could cut. Let's cut a couple little small pieces for those leaves. All right, let me grab my pick here to pull these off and get them where they need to go. Okay. So if you're just now joining me, we have a son. His name is Logan, and he will be 20 in February. But he has made the decision to join the Marines. So this Monday, he goes for his physical to see if there's anything that would eliminate him from enlisting. It has been quite an emotional 2 weeks for this mama. So I would appreciate any and all prayers. He's talked about the military as a little boy, you know, but we never really took it seriously. So this is going to be a big change for our family. So we would appreciate your prayers. But, you know, we are proud of him, and we're excited for him launching and choosing to do this. We just pray that he will be protected and come back and not have any negative effects. So, all right, this ribbon is beautiful ribbon. It is scalloped in the color Petal Pink, and so it just adds a really nice feminine touch. And then we're going to add some rhinestones. I am trying to get rid of these rhinestones so I can throw this away. So I think I'm going to be very liberal with my rhinestones. Okay, so I think if I do more, it's going to look funky. But there's the first card, and it's very easy. And then you just learned a really cool coloring technique with our sponge daubers. Okay, I'm going to hold that up closer so you can see it better. All right, and that way you can see the different colors on those pears. All right, so this was the one that I did previously, but it was kind of difficult because I punched, and it was hard for me to get my punch through all of these. I kind of creased the cardstock. So I was trying to come up with another way to use the punch, but now I'm going to show you one more way that's a fun fold. All right. Let's see, Lori says her neighbor's son joined the Marines and he loves it. Training was tough, but he made it through. He was just home on leave. Well, that is nice to hear. We have a nephew who is a Marine, and we have someone from church whose son is a Marine. And then one of my husband's friends, his son is a Marine, and they're all around Logan's age. So we actually know quite a few people whose kiddos are serving right now. I think Logan was on a soccer team in school, and so he's very used to running, and that is going to benefit him. He is right now going to part-time work, and sorry, my laptop was giving me low battery. He's going to go to part-time work so that he can focus on physical training to get ready for boot camp. They're already yelling at him, you know, to get him assimilated to that. All right, so what I've done is I've just taken one piece of this new color. It's Secret Sea. It's like a really, really dark blue. I thought it had a tinge of green in it, but it really isn't. It's darker than Night of Navy. All right, and then this is Strawberry Slush, and it's just flat panels on top of each other, okay? Then what I did was I cut designer series paper, and this is 10 and a quarter. Let's see. I gotta do it this way. Because I cut it to fit. It's a quarter of an inch smaller than this one. So it is 3 3/4 wide, And it is, let me do it this way. Sorry guys. My brain has very limited abilities right now. And then the length, it's 10. So yeah, okay, 10. And then I scored it in the middle, okay? So I scored it at 5, okay? That threw me off a little bit because that's not my normal, Now it is directional, so you want to make sure that the front is going to have the pears facing the correct way. Now what we're going to do is we are going to take our punch, okay, and I'm just going to punch through both of them, and we're going to go about, I'm just eyeballing it to make sure that the punch is centered. They've got a little bit on both sides, that it's even, and we've got a little bit up here. All right, so we're gonna have 2 of these. Now we're gonna glue this down, and you're like, why do we have 2? Don't worry, it's gonna get covered. The second one gets covered. Just makes it easier when you're punching. Now this is not a card that I would do in a class because it uses up more designer series paper. But for your own crafting, it would be fun. All right, now we have our piece of white that's going to go on top, and see, it's going to cover up that hole. But let's do some stamping on that. Okay, and where is it? There it is. Now on this one, I think I'm going to do it on a scrap, because what if I don't like it? So we're going to do a scrap. Okay, we'll do another one for our other card, because remember, I didn't like the one I did. Okay, so we need 2, at least 2, and let's pull in our colors again. We're going to do that same technique. So if you're just joining, I am using Granny Apple Green, I'm using Daffodil Delight, and then Petal Pink, and we're using the sponge daubers, okay? And we're going to use the stamp that is our fill-in stamp. I almost mixed it by accident. Did you see that? All right, so I just added in my green, and we're going to add in the yellow. Okay, and then we're going to add in the petal pink. Just don't mix them up because it'll ruin your ink pads. All right, I'm going to go back in with a little more green. I just want to make sure that this is really well covered. Okay. Now, I'm going to stand up for this one to make sure I've got good pressure. And we're going to line it up and press hard. Okay, there's that one. And then we'll do it again. All right, and the last color. Each time you do it, it's a little bit different. Oh well. Oh well. It's homemade. All right. I got inky fingers. Let's move these out of the way. And then let's bring our fun fold card. Okay, and I'm going to stamp something on there. Let me glue it down first. Now, what I need to do is I need to stamp the sentiment. If you're nervous, you could stamp the sentiment first, but I think I can stamp the sentiment without making a boo-boo, okay? Now, I said I was using my stamps from my paper pumpkin because they were out on my table, and at the beginning of the video, I was showing my alternative design. So if you missed that, you can wait for this replay and then go in and look at my alternatives. Okay, so there's my sentiment. And now let's color our leaves. This is Granny Apple Green. Don't go fast because you don't want to mess up. Just take your time. You could also use colored pencils, or like I said, you could use your Stampin' blends. Whatever coloring tools are your fave. It's going to be pear season here pretty soon. I think next weekend is a pear festival close to us. It's been kind of windy today, which is not good for fires. And it's been in the low 80s. Very unseasonably cool for this time of the year. Usually we are in triple digits, but hey, I am not going to complain. All right, and then I'm using pecan pie to color in the branch. Okay. And then I mentioned that there are dies, but I am just going to fussy cut these to save some time. And my tip is, don't move the scissors, move the paper. I know some people love to fussy cut and some people hate it. And some people struggle because of arthritis. So I understand. So if you need to use those dies, pull them out and that will save you. Now I stamped these and I'm cutting them out because I wanted to color them with this technique, and I wouldn't have been able to do that without making a huge mess. I was a little worried I might make a mess. So if I messed up, I wouldn't need to tear out this page and ruin my card, if that makes sense. So that's why I am cutting out a separate stamped image to put on the inside. Normally I would just stamp on the white piece and be done. But just in case, I was being a little cautious. All right. And then we're going to, and see, it was stamped on the back side, and that's fine because nobody's going to see it. It's all good. And we're going to add that right there. Cute, huh? Very cute. All right, now let's dress up the front of our card. Now we can use this oval if we want, and we've got this other one that we're going to use on the front. And then we'll add a bow and some rhinestones. I saw this idea from another demonstrator and I just had to try it. I cannot remember her name, otherwise I would give her credit. but it inspired me to start playing with my Pears stamp set because I hadn't played with it yet. And I love how punches can just make very easy cards. And I just wanted to show this to you because it was another way of using the punch that you maybe hadn't thought about. And I always like to show new ways of using things. So even though you punched out that designer series paper, use the punch as part of your card, okay? So we are going to pop this up now. And I think, let's use some of these pieces. Okay. All right. Make sure your flowers are directional. This one, it looks like they're kind of mixed. All right, and then we can have this go up a little bit. You just don't want to cover up your words, okay? And I think I'm going to pop that one up too. All right, let me look at that one more time. Okay, and then let's add in some ribbon. Now this does not really, well, the petal pink would go, but it kind of clashes with our strawberry slush. So I'm just going to go with a neutral. I don't think I have any strawberry slush ribbon. So I'm just going with one of my retired neutral ribbons. It's always good to have a bunch of neutral ribbons on hand, just in case we don't have the color you need. Right now there are 2 different ribbons, and they are my favorites that are on the last chance. They were low inventory the last time I checked. One was $6, one was it's $5.95, and the other one was like $6.50 or something like that. So if they're still available, you might want to grab some because they're great to have in your stash for your card making, because they will go with anything. They're neutral. I don't know that I like the bow there. I think I'm going to put the bow here. Let's see. I actually kind of like it better there. All right, let's add in some sparkles. I got to use these guys up so I can throw this away. And there's a cat hair on that rhinestone, so we're not going to use that one. And I think I'm going to be liberal with my rhinestones. So I go with odd numbers, and since I'm probably going to do more than 3 on this one, I think I'll do 5. That one's got a cat hair on it. We don't want the cat hair. Let's go with this one. Okay. So there is our other card. Okay. That's kind of a fun fold, isn't it? Easy. All right, so let me show you the 3 cards. Okay, all using the same punch, but all in different ways. Okay, and then, like I said, go back to the beginning of this video, and then you can see all of my alternative designs for my paper pumpkin. All right. Okay, I hope that you enjoyed this video and it's inspired you to get out your punches and decide how you're going to use them. So if you haven't already, could you give me a thumbs up or a heart on this video? And if you would share that, it would be wonderful. Thank you so much, everyone. I hope you have a great weekend and enjoy the rest of it. Hopefully you'll get to do something fun. All right, everyone, take care. Bye-bye.